In the frozen hellscape of the Ardennes, a lone soldier's resolve echoes through history. January 1945. The Ardennes Forest, Belgium. Snow blankets the ground, muffling the crunch of boots and the distant rumble of artillery. A biting wind slices through the trees, the air static with tension. The war-weary landscape, marked by frostbitten limbs and shattered trunks, bears witness to the last desperate offensive of Nazi Germany. The Battle of the Bulge rages on, as Allied forces push to reclaim strategic ground. The stakes are high. For the men dug into their icy foxholes, survival is a daily struggle. The German counteroffensive has stretched Allied lines perilously thin. It is here, amid the frozen chaos, that a single soldier finds himself isolated, tasked with defending a critical position against overwhelming odds. His actions, driven by necessity and bravery, reverberate through the cold air like a defiant echo. The pale dawn of January 25, 1945, casts a dim light over the snow-covered Ardennes. The air is thick with the promise of another bitterly cold day. In the distance, the low growl of tank engines punctuates the silence, a harbinger of the German advance. The terrain, rugged and forested, funnels the enemy armor along narrow, icy roads, creating both an opportunity and a hazard. The Germans, determined to break through, are forced into a bottleneck, a vulnerability not lost on the isolated Allied defenders. Veteran accounts describe the tense anticipation in the air as soldiers ready themselves for the inevitable clash. Unit diaries from a period paint a picture of strained communication lines. Radios often falter in the cold, and the dense trees distort signals. These issues exacerbate the confusion, leaving many on the front lines operating on instinct and sparse information. The after-action reports underscore the desperation of the situation, noting that reinforcements are days away and supplies are dwindling. As the German forces inch closer, the muffled roar of artillery grows louder, echoing through the forest. Archival footage shows columns of German troops advancing, their figures ghostly against the white landscape. The war machines churn through the snow, their progress slow but relentless. Some argue that the weather serves as an ally to the defenders, hampering the Germans as much as it does the Allies. Yet, the freezing temperatures also sap morale, leaving men weary and worn. It is within this crucible of ice and fire that a lone soldier stands, tasked with holding a critical position. His vantage point offers a clear view of the advancing enemy, but also exposes him to grave risk. Records suggest that his decision to hold his ground, despite overwhelming odds, is driven by a deep sense of duty and the stark realization that failure could spell disaster for his comrades. As the German troops close in, a tactical surprise unfolds. An unexpected lull in the enemy's advance provides a fleeting moment of hope. Some argue it is a miscalculation by the German command. Others believe it is the result of a strategic maneuver. Whatever the cause, this brief pause offers a chance to regroup and prepare for the next inevitable wave. In this moment of uncertainty, one must wonder, what drives a soldier to stand firm against insurmountable odds? Join us as we continue to explore this question, unraveling the layers of human resilience in the face of adversity. Subscribe to follow the unfolding story, where every decision shapes the course of history. The morning sun rises higher over the frozen Ardennes, casting long shadows across the snow-draped forest. The temperature remains frigid, and the wind, though calmer, carries with it the foreboding echoes of distant artillery. The German advance, stalled momentarily, regroups amidst the trees. Their tanks, formidable yet constrained by the narrow, icy roads, press forward with renewed vigor. As the enemy approaches, a critical development unfolds. The isolated soldier, positioned at the edge of a small clearing, notices an exposed flank in the German line. The terrain, a mix of dense forest and open white expanse, offers a tactical opportunity. Veteran accounts describe this moment as one of rare clarity amidst chaos, where the soldiers' training and instinct converge. The decision is made swiftly to exploit this vulnerability, drawing the enemy into a more defensible position. Unit diaries from this period reveal the soldier's determination, noting the urgency with which he communicates the situation to his scattered comrades. However, communication remains a challenge. The cold continues to interfere with radio transmissions, and the forest's dense canopy distorts signals. These issues heighten the tension as coordinated maneuvers become increasingly difficult. The after-action reports highlight the improvisation required as soldiers rely on hand signals and shouted orders to orchestrate their defense. Archival footage from the aftermath shows the result of this maneuver: a hastily constructed defensive line, bristling with the resolve of men unwilling to yield. The German forces, drawn in by the apparent weakness, encounter fierce resistance. Some argue that this shift in tactics provides a crucial psychological advantage, bolstering the defenders' morale even as they face a superior foe. The element of surprise, though brief, turns the tide in this small corner of the battlefield. Yet, records suggest the situation remains precarious. Supplies are dangerously low, and the relentless cold gnaws at both body and spirit. The defenders brace themselves for the next wave, knowing that their position is far from secure. A calculated decision lies ahead: to hold the line or fall back, regrouping for another stand. In this delicate balance, the question arises: how does one measure the cost of resistance against the necessity of retreat? Reflect on this dilemma as we continue to delve into the complexities of war, where every choice holds the weight of life and death. Subscribe to witness how these decisions shape not only battles, but the enduring legacy of courage under fire. The afternoon sun hangs low over the Ardennes, its feeble warmth offering little comfort against the biting cold. The forest, a silent witness to the unfolding drama, stands stark and still. The German forces, having regrouped, press forward once more, their movements cautious and deliberate. Snow crunches underfoot, mingling with the distant thud of artillery, a reminder of the relentless war machine inching ever closer. As the enemy draws near, a crucial maneuver unfolds. The lone soldier, now joined by a handful of comrades, leverages the terrain to their advantage. The dense forest narrows the approach, funneling German armor into a choke point where their firepower is less effective. Veteran accounts describe this as a pivotal moment, where the defenders' intimate knowledge of the landscape becomes their greatest ally. Unit diaries from the time reflect the soldiers' ingenuity, noting their use of the terrain to create impromptu barriers and ambush points. The cold, which had been an adversary, now serves to mask the defenders' movements, their positions concealed by the frost-laden trees. This strategic use of the environment forces the German troops to slow their advance, buying precious time for the beleaguered allies. However, it's plausible that the shifting weather plays a dual role. As clouds gather, visibility diminishes, complicating efforts to coordinate across the front. Communication remains fraught with difficulty. Radios crackle with static, and shouted orders are swallowed by the wind. After-action reports indicate that this lack of clear communication strains the defenders' ability to execute their plans, injecting uncertainty into their ranks. Amidst this tactical dance, a surprising development occurs. Archival footage captures a sudden break in the clouds, a brief window of clear skies. Some argue this momentary clarity allows for a crucial reconnaissance flight, providing the beleaguered defenders with vital intelligence on enemy movements. This unexpected insight could shift the balance, offering a glimmer of hope in an otherwise dire situation. Yet, even as the tide seemed to turn, the defenders face a sobering reality. Supplies remain critically low, and a looming specter of exhaustion threatens to undermine their resolve. The decision now rests with the soldier and his comrades to hold firm in their current position or withdraw to regroup, risking the loss of hard-won ground. In this moment of tension, consider the weight of decisions made under fire. How do you balance tactical advantage against the human cost of war? Subscribe to follow the ongoing struggle, where each choice echoes beyond the battlefield, shaping the very fabric of history. As twilight descends over the snow-clad Ardennes, the chilling air grows still, punctuated only by sporadic gunfire echoing through the trees. The German forces, now weary and fatigued, pause their assault, regrouping beyond the forest's edge. The defenders, entrenched in their makeshift positions, stand vigilant, acutely aware of their dwindling resources and the encroaching darkness. In the aftermath of the afternoon's skirmish, veteran accounts describe a fragile calm settling over the battlefield. The defenders, buoyed by the brief tactical success, scavenge for supplies and ammunition amidst the remnants of the day's conflict. Unit diaries from this period note a flicker of hope amongst the troops, a testament to the human spirit's resilience even in the bleakest conditions. Yet, the cold and the long hours of vigilance continue to take their toll. The terrain, a mix of dense forest and narrow clearings, has proven both a boon and a barrier. It funnels the enemy into predictable paths, but also hampers any attempts at a decisive counteroffensive. After-action reports highlight the dilemma faced by the defenders. Their advantageous position is also a trap, with limited routes for retreat or reinforcement. The forest, while offering cover, isolates them from the broader theater of war, cutting off critical lines of communication and resupply. Archival footage from reconnaissance flights reveals the extent of the German forces encamped just beyond the tree line. The enemy, undeterred, prepares for another push, their numbers and armor a daunting sight. Some argue that the defenders' only chance lies in holding their ground until reinforcements arrive, a gamble fraught with risk given their precarious situation. Amidst this tension, a sudden shift occurs. Reports suggest a fresh wave of reinforcements, delayed by the weather, is finally en route. The prospect of relief brings a renewed sense of resolve, yet uncertainty lingers. The defenders must decide whether to gamble on this possible salvation or to consolidate their gains and prepare for the next inevitable clash. In this delicate balance, the weight of leadership becomes palpable. How does one decide between holding fast with everything at stake or retreating to fight another day? Consider this enduring question as we continue to unravel the complexities of war. Subscribe to keep following this gripping narrative, where every decision echoes through history, shaping the legacy of courage and survival. Night falls over the Ardennes, draping the forest in a cloak of silence broken only by the occasional crack of distant gunfire. The snow-covered ground, once a stage for chaos and conflict, now reflects the dim glow of a crescent moon. The biting wind, relentless in its chill, whistles through the trees, carrying with it the echoes of a battle hard fought. The landscape, once a theater of war, has transformed into a solemn monument to the bravery displayed here. Our journey into this story has sought to unravel the reality of those harrowing days in January 1945. Through the accounts of veterans, the meticulous details of unit diaries, and the stark images captured in archival footage, we have pieced together a narrative of resilience and ingenuity amidst overwhelming odds. The soldiers' decision to stand firm against the German advance, exploiting the terrain and leveraging every tactical advantage, emerges as a testament to human resolve. Yet, even as we reconstruct these events, questions remain. The true reasons behind the German pause and the sudden break in the clouds, which provided crucial intelligence, are lost to the fog of war. Some argue these were mere coincidences. Others see them as strategic blunders or acts of providence. Such uncertainties remind us of the limits of our understanding, where the chaos of conflict often obscures intent and outcome. The emotional resonance of this story lies not in a clear-cut victory, but in the enduring legacy of courage. The defenders' willingness to face insurmountable odds speaks to a broader human narrative, one of sacrifice, duty, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. The ethical weight of their decisions, made under the harshest of conditions, invites reflection on the costs of war and the responsibilities borne by those who serve. As we close this chapter, we invite you to consider the profound impact of individual bravery within the broader tapestry of history. What lessons do these stories of courage and uncertainty hold for us today? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to join us in future explorations of human resilience and the complex realities of war. Together, we continue to seek the truth, honoring those who have shaped our world in ways seen and unseen.